All right. Philip from Egbeda, I said I've been listening to you since I was a kid because my dad never missed any episode of this program. From voices to state affairs, you've always been absent. You remember the young man who came to tell us what happened to Reverend Koye? He was with Reverend Koye in the hospital. So I brought him here to tell us what happened to Reverend Koye. You know? Yeah, Mofe is dead. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to put you in that mood. That is if we will talk about it on this show today. Olufash is here on X. He says, when Mr. President speaks, it always leaves or give people no hope. He said, Mr. President's speech is full of deceit. But when GSM speaks, it gives people little hope. The fact is that we are not practicing democracy, but deceitcracy. Deceitcracy. Deceitcracy, not democracy. Okay. Olufash. Good morning. Official Moji Morire is here on X. Are you on X? Have you reposted? He says, oh yeah, Edmund, compliment of the season. Thanks for the book, Ironsi. Moji, are you thanking me? I should be thanking you for buying the book to read. Thank you, Moji. You know, and I'm happy with the investment you are making on books, Moji. Keep that investment going. The investment of building the mind. Nothing beats it. It will help you in your business, in your aspirations, because you will be exposed to a wide range of knowledge. So Moji Morire, keep it up. Moji said Awolowo projected. What Awolowo projected is happening now. Tinubu, Sheyi, and all other political elites can excel because they aren't ready to sacrifice. Moji Morire says all we have now are agents of capitalism. The democratic socialists are gone. But Moji, you are not gone now. You are a democratic socialist. I read your messages. You see, I make the point, Moji. Let me make it again. Because I've seen people say this. Sheyi did not campaign to be a socialist. Have you read his Omi 2.0 document, 2.1, 2.0? Tinubu did not campaign to be a socialist. It was clear from Tinubu's campaign statement that he's a capitalist. So you that is a socialist, you are telling Tinubu to implement your own ideas. It can't work. Moji Morire, you are a socialist, right? Take power and implement your idea. That's how it's done. You cannot implement your idea. I've told all the socialists who keep saying, no, this, that. If you want a socialist system, take power. You can see Lula da Silva in Brazil. I cannot campaign on the platform of capitalism. Then when I take power, you are telling me to implement your socialist ideals. It doesn't work that way. So if you love socialism, begin to mobilize, grow your base, and take power. Power is not given, it is taken. It's taken. You know? Yes, you can recommend. If they like, they will take it. But I know that Sheyi Makinde is a capitalist. But he's not an extreme capitalist. Sheyi Makinde is more of center-right. Tinubu is more of extreme right. Sheyi Makinde is center-right. Tinubu is far-right. So that's why Tinubu can confidently tell you on the first day, subsidy is gone. And the economy went with it. Oh, Mr. President. Tinubu is now fighting to bring back the economy. The more he fights, the faster the economy runs. But again, is there pure capitalism anywhere in the world? I think you have moderate capitalism. And you cannot implement extreme capitalism in poor countries. You will devastate the economy. That's what Tinubu has done. Perhaps gradually they will realize I'm beginning to moderate it. Because you must moderate it. Even in America, there is full subsidy on the agricultural sector. That is why in America, almost everybody can eat. Because the agricultural sector is highly subsidized. Even the power sector is subsidized. You can't come here and say you can't subsidize something in a poor country, underdeveloped state. You must subsidize education. Because you need to educate your people so that they become innovative. When you destroy the educational system because of capitalist ideas, you are lost. So what Africa needs is not really this capitalism, socialism. Sometimes these are European terms. We have to look at our system and become pragmatic and implement it in such a way that we build it around communalism. These are poor people. You don't drive them to madness on the basis of free market economy. Free market economy in underdeveloped state will produce few billionaires and millions of poverty-stricken people. That is why you must redistribute income deliberately. And that's what China did. That's what Japan did. Japan did not liberalize fully. But you must ensure that subsidy gets to the people. You are distributing money to poor people, and the rich people will steal the money. So that money is not getting to the people. We must do it in such a way that we put it through the health system, through the education system, like Awolowo did. We call it free education. It wasn't really free. But what made it work was that everybody benefited from it. The parents were paying tax. It was the tax of the parents that was used to fund free education. So it wasn't really free. But you saw the value of taxation. You could see it in education. And the Western region became the leading region, even in Africa. You could see the deliberate plot. And Awolowo called it democratic socialism. But I wish he did not add socialism to it. I think we should begin to look at our own terms. The political class is complaining about the character of the people. Haven't you heard? You see, when I was reading the book Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist, written by Babafemi Ojudu, I said, I cannot read this book without speaking to Ojudu. Ojudu has been a senator representing Ekiti. Ojudu is a renowned journalist. When you say journalist has paid his due, Ojudu has paid his due. So I was happy to read Ojudu's book. Because even before I came into journalism, I have followed his writings. I used to buy Tell, the news magazine. We used to buy Tempo. We'll be discussing the magazines in secondary school. We were quite politically active. In JSS1, you see the way we'll be discussing politics. During break, we'll be discussing politics, football. So while reading Ojudu's book, I read about Abacha. I read about Tinubu, Fela, Bekor and Somkuti, Babangida. It's a book of history. So I will say that The Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist was the 2024 book of the year. Because it's so easy to read, it's so interesting, the stories are inspiring, sometimes discouraging. You'll see how power plays. The Chaguri brothers, Chaguri brothers. If you go on my YouTube, you'll find an interview on my YouTube channel. You also find it on my X channel. You'll find it on my Instagram page. It's Ojudu there. I titled that interview, The Story Behind Tinubu's Secret Recording of a Jewish Informant before Tinubu became president. So this book reveals those secret adventures of a guerrilla journalist by Babafemi Ojudu. I recommend the book to you. You can get a copy. The journalist can be neutral, but the journalist must not be neutral. I'm not neutral. I don't sit on the fence. I take positions. But in taking my position, I also understand the role I play as a radio man. So Sam Amasaye is a Tinubu man. But that does not take away from his brilliance. That's the point. Sam Amasaye writes well. I read him. And I read him with open mind. So Sam Amasaye writes a book entitled Beating All Odds. Beating All Odds, Diaries and Essays on how Bola Tinubu became president. If you are obedient, I advise you to read this book so that you president. Okay? Some obedient, when I posted it on my page, some obedient people came and said, what will he say? It will be full of lies. I said, but you've not read the book. Intellectuals don't conclude that way. Read the book first. But it is clear they are obedient. So if you are obedient, calm down a bit. Huh? Calm down, Joe. Take it easy. Election will come again. I like obedience anyway. They are aggressive. But the Baptists are also aggressive. This is the beauty of politics. Tinubu is the president. We'll wait for the next election. But Sam Amasaye has written a good book about how Tinubu became president. And I'm going to review this book soon. I also want to take Sam Amasaye up. So what that means, I'm going to look for him. We are going to discuss this book. The way I found Ojudu, and we have discussed his own book. In fact, I have read this book again. It's like I want part 2 with Femi Ojudu. And I will call for part 2 at the right time. So I recommend Sam Amasaye. Are you a Tinubuist? And you have not read Sam Amasaye's book? Then you are not loving your man enough. Show some love to your man by reading the book about him. You have a broader understanding of who Tinubu is. Because this book is philosophical and deep. It explains Tinubu's politics. It's entitled Beating All Odds, Diaries and Essays on how Bola Tinubu became president. Written by Sam Amasaye. You'll get this book on udarabooks.com. On udarabooks.com. You can also order it through my WhatsApp number 080 999 18449. So you can order it. So I've recommended 2 books to you. Beating All Odds, Diaries and Essays on how Bola Tinubu became president. And Adventures of a Guerrilla Journalist by Babafemi Ojudu. Now, I want us to listen to Babafemi Ojudu. He complains here about the character of the followership class. Since we started this interview,
right,
I have not referred to you as Senator Babafemi Ojudu.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like being called Senator Ojudu?
I think I care less. You know, I'm more comfortable when people call me Babafemi or Femi.
I'm more comfortable with Babafemi.
Yes, sure. He didn't add to me. Rather, it subtracted from me. I've had to do an article to say, look, I'm ready to throw away this title to just be my simple self. The baggage is too much.
How did he subtract from you?
Because the perception of the senator is a looter, somebody taking what does not belong to him. one of the people destroying Nigeria, and I do not see myself as one of those people who destroy Nigeria. It doesn't even allow people to look back and see the contributions I've made. So it's and I will also say that my 4 years in the Senate has been the worst of my life till now.
How?
I wake up in the morning, I want to go to the chambers, I'm depressed.
You are depressed?
Depressed, seriously.
Why?
Depressed, because the kind of things I see around me. I went to the Senate believing that I could assist in solving problems, finding solution to problems. But what I saw there wasn't glorifying to me. No.
What did you see?
If you add that to the prayer from home, just bring the money. Whether you steal it or not does not matter. Just bring the money.
That was the pressure from home.
So I became an object of money. It's like a woman who is being seen as an object of sex. So I was not comfortable with that, because that was not me. That could not define me. You keep dipping your hand in your pocket, trying to meet people's need, people who are not sincere, people who are just out there to rip you off.
So how did we get to that point?
Koyemio. I think it's something that sociologists will have to look at.
Because even when I still see senators and politicians,
yes,
what I see is what you have just described.
Those guys are suffering, no. They are suffering, Before we do transfer money through telephone, in those days when I was there between 2011 and 15, there was no, that kind of facility was not available. Our aides, we queue every morning, trying to send money out to people who have begged us overnight. Somebody's in hospital, you have to pay the bill. My blown off my roof, you have. These are funny things. Even the boy will call me from Lagos and say, Senator, yes, good morning, how are you? Hope there is no problem. No, mo kúrò l'Ekiti lánàá, mo lọ Sondo ní Friday, mo lọ sí Èkó lọ ṣe fàájì. Mi wá rówó tí mo fi ọkọ̀ padà sílẹ̀, send owó sí mi o. I say, o lọ ṣe fàájì l'Èkó láti Èkìtì. You didn't think about how you are going to get back to Ekiti. It's me you are going to call. All of this put pressure on you. A king invited me for the wedding of the daughter, and I was not going to make it. I gave money to somebody to go and get the biggest cattle, the biggest cow in town, and give to him. So I called him. Kábíyèsí, ṣé ẹ rí màlúù tí mo gbé ránṣẹ́? Ó lóun rí. He was quite not cheering. Kì í ṣe nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ látọ̀dọ̀ ẹnìyàn. If you look at that morning, coupled with what I've seen overnight, you never get to sleep. Your phone keeps ringing. And I'm one that does not ignore calls or messages. I've had all manners and insults from boys who should not be my houseboy, and overnight. And that king, the reaction of the king to a gift, top it off. I didn't know when I got at the edge of my bed and started crying.
You started crying?
I started crying. Then my 12-year-old daughter just walked in. She always wake up in the morning, come to my room to say, good morning, Daddy. Saw me cry. I said, Daddy, what is the problem? I said, this job is killing me. And he said, if it is killing you, if you don't like the job, why don't you resign? And I held to that. And that day I told myself, I will not go back. I will not attempt to go back to the Senate. And I never did. Everybody persuaded him to want to go and pick form to return. I said, I'm not going back. I won't.
Why was the king not happy?
He probably wanted a huge sum of money. So the cow was not enough. You give somebody money and say, me call it. You wonder what is a way. I'm renting a help, and you are saying, "Oh, a guy once called me one afternoon. I was in China. I said, hello. I just managed to open the phone and Senator, Ibola Muni mo in China. How do I get back home? Muni, I'm in China. Can't you find somebody to come and? I'm in China. These are the kind of things you get. One guy visited one morning on a Saturday, came to me and I'm broke, Senator. This problem, that problem. I said, okay, sorry about that. I went in, brought 20,000 naira, a bundle, and gave it to him. He left. Not up to 2 minutes after he left me, somebody else came and said, I've been telling you, people are complaining that you don't give money. That man now just left you, is feeling despondent out there that you didn't give him money. Person who just left here that I gave 20,000 naira. So I now called him. I said, where you said this? So, please come. There is something I needed to tell you. So he came back. I said, okay. you came in had this one that you are broke. How much did I give you? He said 20,000 naira. So why then did you tell this man that I didn't give you a dime? He said, if I told him you want to share of the money. I said, you have destroyed me in his face. And these are the kind of things you get. You help people, they would say you have not helped them. You know.
Why were they coming to you?
Because they think that you are there to solve their problems. That they elected you. Even now, somebody comes to me to seek assistance and you say, I was your coordinator in 2011. I voted for you. Sir, will this thing not end?
But you were elected to solve their problems.
Solve problems, not at micro level.
At what level?
Honestly, and that's what I used to tell my colleague. I said, for as long as we continue to think that we can solve problems at micro level, we end up being a victim. And that's why, up to today, not up to 15-20% of senators do go back for a second term. They always vote them up because you cannot solve everybody's problem at micro level. But let me explain this to be very clear. If there are problems of housing in Nigeria, let us look at it. How do we provide social housing? So that everybody can have access to it. So somebody will not be building a house, you say, come and give money to roof it. You know that government is solving that problem at the macro level. If there is a problem about education, let's adopt Awolowo's free education. Nobody will go to Awolowo's house when he was in public office to say, come and pay my child school fees. No, because the free education thing is there for everybody. Whether you have one wife, 2 wives, 50 children, you are, for as long as you pay your tax, you get access to free education. Same thing with water, same thing with health and everything. But look, do you know why I was in the Senate? We lost 5 of my colleagues to hypertension, to heart failure. There was a guy, I kept forgetting his name. We were together in Ife. Brilliant lawyer, young man, ebullient, intelligent. One day we were flying together from Abuja to Lagos to attend the 8th day of Tinubu's mom's funeral. And we sat together in the plane. He said, this thing is killing me. I don't know how I can survive this prayer. I have a house here. Our policemen kept there. My townspeople are always there. My wife cooks all day, everything. And if I'm going to Delta, same problem. As soon as I'm landing, I'm dishing out money. I don't even have this money. And I don't have enough to do these things. I say, oh boy, calm down. Your life is more important for this thing. We came back. We came back on Sunday. That was the event was Saturday. We came back on Sunday. By Thursday, I just got a call midnight that he had a massive stroke and died. This guy had nothing.
He had nothing?
He had nothing. He was living in a rented house in Abuja. And when the news came that the landlord was going to chase the wife out 6 months after, we had to make contributions. So all of the glamour you are seeing, all of the so-called money, they are spent on hope that they are going to go back.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live